I was in the middle of being a hermit while learning all the new decks since I've been gone, and I realized I'd seen some extra interest in the Dragon Ruler cards. I watched a video on them, linked down below, and it was like a brain blast moment. Admittedly, this is more like concepts of a plan, but I think I found the foundation for something that could be there. Now, the first new card that we have here is Spectre, Dragon Ruler of Rays. It's a light level 2 dragon that reads, you can discard this card and one light or dragon monster. Add 2 Dragon Ruler monsters from your deck to your hand, except Spectre. You can banish this card and one light or dragon monster from your graveyard, then target one Chasmatis Dragon Ruler of Auroras in your graveyard. Special summon it. You can only use one Spectre Dragon Ruler of Rays effect per turn and only once that turn. And from the opening hand here that I handpicked, you'll notice that it is a bit of a pile deck and I am playing the Metalmorph cards as stated in the title. And I thought that the deck on its own had a lot of easy choke points that made the deck vulnerable to a lot of hand trap and even board breakers, since a lot of people are now playing Super Poly and Droplet, could give this deck problems as you potentially couldn't respond to them. But I wanted to do something that could potentially circumvent all of that, and I'm going to start here by using the Spectres to show how we can do just that. And we're going to continue here by pitching the Tenpai. You'll see that's just another engine for going second, pretty much in every Dragon Ruler deck that I've kind of seen so far. But we're going to get ourselves a copy of Burner and Blaster, as we're then going to use the effect of Burner pitching the Blaster, and then bringing out another Blaster. From here we'll be able to use the effect of Blaster, and I'm just going to banish the Spectre here. You don't have to do this, but because we do have a Tenpai here, I wanted to show later on that you could choose to keep the Tenpai if you're going second, and continue with that line of play instead. But we're going to bring out the Blaster, as we're now going to go into our second new card, and this is the Chasmatis. It takes 2 level 7 dragon monsters, and quick effect, you can send 1 level 7 Dragon Ruler monster from your deck to the graveyard, and detach 1 material from this card. This effect becomes that monster's effect that activates by discarding itself. If this card is destroyed by battle, or if this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by opponent's card effect, you can special summon 1 level 7 Dragon Ruler from your graveyard or banishment. You can only use each effect of Chasmatis once per turn. Now, we're going to continue here by using the effect of the Chasmatis sending the Tempest, and we'll be able to add ourselves a card, as we're going to get the Tenpai extender, the Dragon of Genroku, and we're going to then be able to special summon it. Now, we're going to flex our invisible opponent here, as we're going to raise its level, and then we're going to link away into the Spheres. And the Spheres is going to be the first way that you can kind of play around Nib, as we're going to summon out the Black Metal now using up our normal summon, and then going into the Spirit with the Eyes of Blue. The Spirit with the Eyes of Blue will allow us to chain block the Black Eyes Metal Dragon, as we'll then be able to get ourselves the copy of Mausoleum alongside the copy of the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, which will provide another extender here. And you'll see that we also have the Effect Veiler, which I also handpicked for this hand because we have the ability to search out the Mausoleum so easily. So we're going to continue here by activating the Mausoleum, I think, as we're then going to use its effect in order to send ourselves the Blue Eyes, effectively turning our Spheres into a 800 beat stick to match IP Masquerena. But then we're going to be able to use the effect of the Spirit to bring back the Blue Eyes, banish the Blue Eyes since we really kind of don't need that engine anymore, and we're going to be able to use the effect of Darkness Metal in order to bring back Blaster, which this part is important because it's a level 7 dragon, as we're now going to use the Tempest, banish 2 dragon monsters, as we'll then be able to go into our next new card, and this is the Eclipsis Dragon Ruler of Woes. It takes 2 level 7 dragon monsters. If this card is Exceed summoned, you can target 1 level 4 or lower Dragon Ruler monster in your graveyard or banishment. Special summon 1 level rank 7 Dragon Ruler monsters mentioned on it from your deck or banishment, then shuffle that target into the deck. When your opponent activates a spell, trap, or effect, quick effect, you can detach 2 materials from this card, negate the activation, and if you do, banish that card. You can only use each effect of Eclipsis once per turn. Now, the cool thing about this is that because we have the negation of the Eclipsis, we will be able to have access to another one with the Metalmorph package, which gives us an Omni negation through the Red Eyes card, but we're now going to be able to use the effect of Eclipsis, which will bring back our special summon out a Blaster from deck, as then from here we're going to be able to link away into Closed. Now, we have the Fiendsmith package with pretty decent protection. Unfortunately, nothing around Ash, because I think this is just Spell and Trap. Yeah, so it's just Spell and Trap. But even if this does get hit with the Ash Blossom, we still have the Spheres, we have the copy of the Eclipsis. As long as your opponent doesn't have Nibiru or anything, you will be able to continue, but even if they do have Nibiru, you do have the ability to tribute off the token for your Metalmorph play, which is pretty nice. So we're we're going to continue here as we're then going to use the effect of the Lacrima, get ourselves the Fiendsmith Engraver in the graveyard, as we'll then be able to go either into the Sequence or you can go into the Caesar as we're going to do here by going into the Necroquip, and then we're going to bring back our Engraver, go into the Caesar. From here we can activate the Approaching Machine in order to get our Max Metalmorph, and we'll then be able to set the Max Metalmorph, and on our opponent's turn, we have the ability to bring back the Lacrima, which will give us that body for the Max Metalmorph, and I thought that was pretty nice. Or bring back the Requiem so that we can get the Lacrima. But the point is that you do get an extra body without having to worry about tributing one of your interruptions for the trap card. And on top of that, in this hand, even though it was handpicked, we did get to keep the Veiler. But with that, I'm going to take you on to the combos so that you can see a little bit how the deck just plays with one or two cards. So in this first combo, we'll have the Black Metal Dragon, and we're going to start here by normal summoning it and going into our Spirit. Now, of course, as you saw previously, the important thing here is that you get the chain block and go into different things that you have available to you, whether it be the Fiendsmith stuff, or you can go into your Metalmorph stuff, you can go into the Spheres. There's a lot of options, and I actually really like that about this deck, but we're going to continue here by using the Mausoleum in order to send the Blue Eyes, raising the attack of the Spirit, and then we're going to tribute off the Spirit to bring back the Blue Eyes just to build a little bit of a wall, as we're then going to get ourselves the trap card here, the Max Metalmorph, using the effect of the Red Eyes in order to do so, as we're then just going to end on this. So again, it's not really a lot. As you saw before, the more cards that you have in your hand, the more you can add to these end boards, which is what makes them stronger. Now, for this second combo, we have yet another normal summon, the Metal Illusionist, because we're playing the Metalmorph cards, and unlike the Black Metal Dragon, unfortunately you won't be able to chain link the Spirit. That said, you still have the ability to set the Metalmorph here, go into the Spirit, so that if it does get hand trapped, you still have the tribute for the Max Metalmorph. But anyways, we're going to continue here by adding ourselves the Mausoleum, so that the Mausoleum can then send away the Blue Eyes. From here, we'll then be able to use the effect of the Mausoleum, get the Blue Eyes in the graveyard, as we'll then use the effect of the Spirit, bring back the Blue Eyes, as we'll then pass on that. So again, a lot of similar stuff. There's not many different things that you're doing with this deck. It just really depends on what part of your engine you see, the type of hand traps that you have, and if you have an all gas hand, then you really just kind of get to play everything. Now, for this next one, I just wanted to show Spectral with any single dragon, as we're going to start here by using the Spectral. We'll then be able to get ourselves the Blaster and the Burner. From here, we'll then be able to use the Burner, which will pitch the Blaster, get another copy of Blaster. From here, we'll then be able to use the Blaster in the graveyard, as we'll then be able to go into our Chasmatus, use the effect of Chasmatus, which will send away the Tempest, detach one so that we can get ourselves an addition, this time getting the Black Metal Dragon. So just an easily accessible way to get into your Metalmorph engine with the Dragon Ruler stuff, which is really nice. So we'll continue here by going into our Spirit. We'll then use the effect of the Black Metal along with the Spirit so that we can get ourselves the copy of Mausoleum alongside the copy of the Red Eye Searcher for the Metalmorph trap. I don't know why it's showing up, or not showing up, but we're going to continue here by using the effect of the Red Eyes in order to get ourselves the copy of the Max Metalmorph, as there we go, the Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragon. Still such an awesome card. It's been so long since I've seen it, but one of those that I definitely remembered while I was gone, as we'll then be able to use the effect of the Mausoleum here, target the Chasmatus to raise its defense alongside its attack, which doesn't matter since it's in defense mode, but again, if you're going second, then that might matter. But we're going to use the effect of the Spirit now, bringing back the Blue Eyes, go into our copy of Spheres, use the effect of the Tempest, which you don't have to do. There is the option of keeping your Tempest inside of the graveyard so that you can use the Spheres, and the Spheres is pretty interesting in this deck because not only do you have the Bestial Magna Hut, but let's say that you draw that and you don't want to get any of your other Bestials or any of your other dragons. I think that this is a pretty solid option, and it's another new card, Red Eyes Metal Claw Dragon. It reads you can activate Metalmorph trap cards the turn that they are set. You can only use each of the following effects of Red Eyes Metal Claw Dragon once per turn. You can send one face down card you control to the graveyard, special summon this card from your hand. If this card card is normal or special summoned, and you have max Metalmorph in your field or graveyard, you can add one Metalmorph trap card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So if your opponent is able to out your back row with, let's say, something like Duster or Storm, unfortunately Cyclone will banish it. Just the fact that your spheres can special summon this out if you've already seen your Magna Hut and get back into your Metalmorph engine is pretty nice. With that, I'll take you on to the next combo. Now, again, I want to show off a different line of play that you have with your Spectre, Spectral, I think I called it before, as we're going to use its effect in order to get ourselves the Blaster and the Burner. We'll then be able to use the Burner again, and unfortunately, because I'm going first, I won't be able to show off the full combo, but I think that the deck has been out long enough for people to know exactly where this is going to go. When I add one of the next cards to our hand, as we're going to use the effect of the Chasmatis to get the Tempest in the graveyard for the search, and now, as you saw, if you're going second, Chasmatis being in attack mode, 3000 attack, you have access to the Tempai engine, which you can normal summon this, use its effect, which will get you the quick play. From here, you can use the quick play in order to get you the special summon, and from there, you can just go into the battle phase and start going for your OTK. I would also like to point out, as you'll see momentarily, we're going to special summon out the Tempest. You don't have to do this, but if you need the extra damage, you can. Now, for the final combo, I wanted to show off the Spectre along with any dragon and one of your normal summons. In this case, I'm just going to use the black metal since it's the better one, but we're going to start here by using the effect of the Spectre so that we can get ourselves the copy of Blaster and Burner, and then we're going to use the effect of the Burner so that we can go through our Dragon Ruler plays, bring out the Blaster, use the Blaster in the graveyard, special summon itself out so that we can go into the Chasmatis, use the effect of the Chasmatis sending the Tempest. We'll then be able to get the search for the Magna Hut, as we'll then be able to normal summon our Black Metal Dragon, go into the Spirit, use the effect of Black Metal Dragon Chainlink 1, the Spirit Chainlink 2. From here, we'll be able to add ourselves the Mausoleum along with the Red Eyes Metalmorph card. Yeah, the full Metal Dragon. As we're now going to be able to activate the Mausoleum, then we're going to use the effect of the Mausoleum, sending the Blue Eyes, targeting the Chasmatis to raise its defense. I think we'll end up linking it away regardless, so it doesn't matter. But we're going to continue here by going into our spheres, as we'll then use the effect of the Full Metal Dragon in order to go into our Max Metalmorph. This will give us the ability to end on the spheres, bringing out something from the deck, along with the Max Metalmorph being able to tribute that away, giving us a couple interruptions. There might be a chance that you end up just tributing off Magna Hut away before you even get the chance to use spheres, so there's something like that as well. From here, I'll take you onto the deck profile. So with all the combos out of the way, we can get onto the deck profile, and you'll notice that I just chose to use small engines for both the Dragon Rulers and the Metalmorphs. More so on the Dragon Ruler part, where we're only playing the 3 Blaster, the 2 Burner, the 1 Tempest, and then it's the 3 Spectral. I felt that when you play this deck on its own, there is a lot of choke points that make this deck super vulnerable, and with talents, cross out, and called by all at one, it feels a little bit more on the riskier side to play. That said, I felt as an engine, it had the ability to cover up some weaknesses of another deck, while another deck could potentially cover up the weaknesses of it being so vulnerable to hand traps. And on top of that, you also get the added ability to have an Omni Negate through the Full Metal Dragon, which makes your boards even stronger. You'll notice that there's also a bunch of synchro options that you can play in order to make your end board stronger, but that said, I don't think that you need them, just because they do require more specific cards in order for you to go into them. You'll also notice that Adora Draco is something here that you could probably play. I didn't think it was necessary because since we're playing the Metalmorph stuff, you can just go into that engine instead, and if you're going second, you just go into your Tempai or whatever. And then of course there's the Fiendsmith card. Another cool thing about this deck is obviously the ability to play all these going second cards, and since Bestials are dragon, you have synergy with that as well. With all of that out of the way, I don't think I have much else to say about the list, so I'll get on to the card by card. Oh, well, actually, there is this, the Disaster Dragon Ruler. Yeah, I am not reading that, but 2 rank 7 monsters. If this card is Exceed summoned, you can target up to 4 level 7 Dragon Ruler monsters in your graveyard and or banishment. Attach them to this card as material. Then you can banish all monsters your opponent controls and in their graveyard with the same attributes as the monsters attached to this card. You can only use this effect of Disaster once per turn. This card has Light, Dark, Earth, Water, Fire, and in Dragon Ruler monsters as material, gains 4,500 attack and defense. Also, it is unaffected by other cards. In this deck, that really won't come up, but the first effect is actually really good because it just gives you another option for going second. So now onto the card by card, we have the 3 copies of Spectre, 3 Black Metal, we then have the 3 Metal Illusionist, we then have the 3 copies of Approaching Machine, the 1 Engraver, Lacrima, Blue Eyes, Mausoleum, we then have the 1 copy of the 1 for copy of Goldsark, we then have the Songen Summoning, the copy of Songen Common, we then have the 1 copy of Tenpai Dragon Chandra, the 1 copy of Genroku, the 1 copy of Fadra, the 1 copy of Beidora, we then have the 1 copy of Darkness, the 1 copy of the Full Metal, the 1 copy of Claw, the 3 copies of Max Metalmorph, the 3 copies of Blaster, the 2 copies of Burner, the 1 copy of Tempest, the 1 copy of Magnahut, 1 copy of Druisworm, the 1 copy of Baldrake, 3 copies of Crow, 3 copies of Aurelia, the 3 copies of, I don't know how to pronounce this. We have the 1 copy of Imperm, the 2 copies of Valor, the 3 copies of Droplet, the 3 Thrust, the 1 Talents, the Crossout, along with the Called By to wrap up the main deck. Onto the extra deck, we have the 1 Closed for the Fiendsmith stuff, the 1 SP, the 1 Spheres, the 1 Sequentia, the 1 copy of the Requiem, the 1 copy of the Spirit, the 1 Striker Dragon, and this is kind of a flex spot. It really depends. The thing is that you can go into your Spirit using either one of these, and if you go into the Spirit with your Metal Illusionist, on follow-up turns, you may want that Striker Dragon for the Black Metal Dragon, so that's why it's in there. But then we have the 1 Eclipsis, the 1 Chasmatis, the 1 Disaster, the 1 copy of Caesar, the 1 copy of the Transcend Dragon, we then have the other copy of the Bident Dragon, the 1 copy of Desiree, along with the 1 Necroquip to wrap up the deck profile. But anyways, if you enjoyed today's video, I hope you'll leave some comments down below to leave your thoughts. And just a reminder that I thank you all for watching. A click of those thumbs up and subscribe buttons are always appreciated. But anyways, it's Bones, signing